Shalom, shalom, family. This is one of the videos I've decided to share with other Israelites. As I mentioned in the title of my YouTube channel, The Spiritual World Around Us, I think all Israelites need to be aware, all practicing Israelites, I should say, need to be aware that if you're keeping the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments and having faith in Christ, then there's a very good chance that you're probably surrounded by angels at all times and you don't even know it. And so this video is intended to share with other Israelites and allow them the opportunity to see what I mean when I say being surrounded by angels at all times. Whether you want to use the term angels or spiritual beings or even your angelic ancestors, which is a title I've used on the video once or twice. As you can see the video on the screen, I'm going to enlarge this video. And what I want to show you is what I call a visitation that took place. This is back in 2020. And this was a 5 or 6 day visitation where a spiritual being or angel just basically just hung out for a full week in my garage. And that's what I would like to show you now. If you notice on the screen, I hadn't hit play yet, but if you notice on the screen, you'll notice this misty looking, almost like a little bit of a foggy looking appearance right here on the screen. This is the area that you're going to be looking in. And so as I hit play and allow the video to start moving, you're going to notice the motion in this spiritual being or angel or whatever term you want to use. But right now it's kind of hanging out right there, almost on top of that polisher, that car polisher is sitting there on that black Acura. But you're going to notice here in a few minutes as it's going to start to rise up off the top of that polisher, and it's going to become much more clearer to you. And you can see the motion now. It's moving almost like a fog or like a vapor. But that's the spiritual being that I'm talking about. You're going to get a chance to see it really well as it starts to drift up higher off of the vehicle. And one thing I want to point out about it is that like a lot of the other orbs and stuff you're going to see on other videos that I'll share going forward in the future, I want to point out that these things are not visible with the naked eye. And that means that, of course, if you were standing right there in that garage on that date and time, you would not see that vapor or cloudy appearance of that spiritual being that you see on the screen. But something about the night vision and the motion detection on the security camera is actually able to pick these up and record them. And so that's why that's why I have these videos and I'm able to share them, because the security camera, for whatever reason, is able to pick these things up. And so I'm going to let you see what this one looks like during the day. And then I'm also going to share a video with you where you can see what it looks like in the nighttime there in the garage. Because even though you can't tell it looking at it now, this thing is actually projecting a light from it. I mean, it's like a beam of light. And when you see the videos of the nighttime in the garage, you're going to see what I mean. It's almost like somebody shining a flashlight across the room up against the wall. That's how much light this thing is projecting off of it. But as you can see, the vapor is kind of there on the hood, but it's going to start to raise up. And I want to make sure I point that out to you when it does, so you can see it really clear. And you're going to notice that it's going to have almost like a circular shape to it. Okay. And so it's moving, and it's starting to drift upward. And it's going to get a little higher, and then it's going to drift all the way up to where you can see it clearly. And if you got your eyes focused on the area, I'm telling you right there, and it's drifting upward. It's going to start to drift upward, and then it'll drift back down. Then it's going to drift up again, and it's going to drift back down. Now notice that this is 8 o'clock in the morning. You can see the sun shining through the garage door, the side door of the garage. And so broad daylight, And it was like this for 6 straight days, where day or night you could click on the app for the security camera and look at the live feed, and you'd be able to see this thing floating there in the garage, just floating. And so it's drifting up, and it still had got up all the way high enough where you can see it really clear. And so, and hopefully you've already seen it by now, but you should get a really good look here in just a second. And of course, we were really tripped out when this happened back in 2020, and then you can see it lift up and come back down, but it's going to eventually come all the way up to like here, where you can see it really well, and it's going to have somewhat of a circular shape to it. I think it's around that 4 minute 30 second mark is where it drifts up, from what I remember. The 4 minute 30 second mark, and so we get close, and it's going to start to drift up higher. You see it, and higher, and it kind of pause, and there it goes a little higher. Woo! And it's going to come back down, and it's going to drift right back up again. It's clear. It's pretty clear. And you can see it. It's almost like a vapor, or just a little patch of fog almost, and it's going to drift up again. Now, one of the things I noticed out of all the times I've looked at these videos, here it is again. It's got a circular shape to it. It's going to drift up a little bit higher. Look at that. You see that circular shape to it, and you don't realize it, but it's actually glowing, and there's light actually projecting from this thing, which I'm going to show you in a minute when I show you a nighttime video of the garage. And I actually think there was more than one of these in the room actually at the time. We see in this one doing this thing, but I think there's a second one that's like back over in this area that's also drifting up and down. Look at that. And so you look at it, you're like, wow, is it a ghost? Is it a spiritual? Is it a spirit? What is it exactly? And so we first started having these visitations back in 2018. 2016 was the year that I first found out about so-called Negroes being Hebrews or Semitic people and descending from the 12 tribes of Israel. And so, like anything you come across on the internet, you hear it and you kind of take it with a grain of salt. But then I gave it some thought, and I decided I wanted to research it. And so I spent the better part of a year just researching it, everything I could get my hands on, to try to find out if there was any truth to it. And so after almost about a year of researching it, I just felt like there was no denying it, that the so-called Negroes are actually Hebrews. They actually descend from the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, and I know that's a lot to process. And it's the kind of thing it's really hard to believe, for anybody to believe, unless you research it for yourself, because it's just too wonderful to believe just at face value. You have to research it, and so that's what I did. And after researching again for about a year, started in 2016. I finished up in about 2017. Excuse me, the middle of 2017. And at that time, I started living as an Israelite. I started following the law, statutes, and commandments. I started keeping the Sabbath, following the dietary laws. I actually sewed fringes onto on the borders of my shirts. And so ever since that day, stopped celebrating all the pagan holidays. No more Christmas, Thanksgiving, 4th of July, none of that crap, Valentine's. And so, and after living about a year from 2017 and in 2018, about a year after I started living as an Israelite, then that's when the visitation started. And so I'm going to show you one of the first videos of when the very first visitation occurred. But right now I want to show you what it looks like at night and in the nighttime in the garage, where you can see that light projecting from that orb that you see floating up off the vehicle. And so I'm going to have to reduce the size here. Now let me click off for this one. And I'm going to go ahead and get you one of the videos at nighttime in the garage. And you're going to see. Let's see here. Where is it? Oh, this is one of the videos. And so this is what it looks like at night in the garage. And let me open it all the way up. And you can see that this particular video is May 24th, 2020. And so the other video you were just looking at, I think, said May 21st. But you can see it. You can see the light now. So every time that thing it floats up, it's projecting this beam of light. And you can see that there's these two circular things on the that extend from this beam of light. And to me, I can tell you what it looks like to me. These two, it reminds me of a halo. If you've ever seen a halo or a depiction of a halo, that's really what it reminds me of. And so you can see that there's two of them along this beam of light that's extended from this orb or this spiritual being. It's projecting these two things of light, and it's shining up on the wall like almost like a flashlight is shining on the wall. Okay, and so that's what it looks like at night. And so it was there all throughout the day and all throughout the night. And when you look at the video there, you can see that is a beam of light that's projecting from that thing. Okay, and this is life as an Israelite after I started keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Okay, and I don't think it's anything exclusive to myself. I think if you're a so-called Israelite, a practicing Israelite, and by practicing I mean that you're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Because I've heard some Israelites who seem to be under the impression that they don't think we have to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and I disagree. I don't think that the Most High punished us to the extent that He has punished us over the last 500 years, just for fun. It's because that's how serious He takes His law, statutes, and commandments. All the captivities that our people have gone through, and all the suffering and tribulation that we've gone through, to me, should be a perfect example to all of us how serious the Most High takes His law, statutes, and commandments. Okay, and so then He sends His Son that spills His blood for us, that we can have a chance to repent and come back to the Most High and His law, statutes, and commandments. Not do away with His law, statutes, and commandments, but He actually shed the blood of His Son for us that we could come back to Him and repent and keep those laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay, this whole idea that you're going to do away with the commandments, I don't know where you get that from, but I'm here to tell you, you've been lied to or you've been misled. Israelites have to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. As far as the other nations are concerned, to me, they're not our concern. We made a covenant with the Most High. Our ancestors did. They obligated us to that covenant, and we don't have a choice. We have to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. And then the sooner you get that through your head, the better off you're going to be. And if you want your name included in that book of life, you have to keep the law, statutes, and commandments and have faith in Christ. It's just that simple. Now, this video I'm going to show you real quick. This is back in 2018, right around the time when the visitation first started. And you're going to notice on the screen, what you see on the screen here, you see what I believe are two angels floating. And it looks like two strands of light. And you see the little sections, separation in the sections as you move down this strand of light. But one of the things you can see is that they're floating. And you can see those two strands of light kind of moving in the breeze inside the room. Okay, you can see how bright the light is, that they're luminescent, let's say, and you can see that they're floating. And so I'm gonna move this video forward. I want to see when the door closed to the garage, and it's even darker in the room. He's giving me a hard time about letting me advance this video, huh? What's up with that? There we go. Oh, I thought the door closed already. The door's still not closed. I want you to see when the door closed because it is brighter. The light is even brighter. There we go. So now the door's closed to the garage. You don't have that light coming from inside the house, and you can see them very clearly. Now, what I will say about these is they were similar to the other visitation I just showed you. These two angels were there day and night for almost like a 7-day period. Okay, day or night, they were visible on the security camera, and I recorded it Lord only knows how many times. But over the years, during the course of the 6 years, I've done away with. I don't know what's happened to some of the ones I had recorded in the daytime, but you can see what they look like here at night. And this is inside the garage. You can see the time of night. It's like 8:53 p.m. I'm actually at work at this time. I was working the second shift on the job I have, working for the federal government. Yeah, I was actually working the second shift all the way up until maybe November of 2019. And since that time, I've been working day shift. But this is back when it first started, early August, toward the end of July, and early August. And I'll never forget when I was getting all these notifications for my security app about motion detected in the garage. And this night, I think it was actually a Sunday, but I remember the next day being Monday, and I remembered all the notifications in the garage because I remember thinking initially that it was our dog because at that time we had a dog, a shepherd mixed, a mutt basically, and we no longer have the dog now. But I kind of initially brushed off that it was the dog setting off the motion detection in the garage. But then the next day, that Monday, during the day, I remembered about the notification in the garage, so I just looked to see. And sure enough, boom, this is what I saw. These two strands of light. And I actually saw when these two strands of light, I don't know what the word is, created or when they first appeared. And I might show you that video at some point too, but I think that video is going to confuse you. And so, but at some point, I'll probably end up showing it to you. But yeah, this is when it first started. And you can see the two, in my opinion, the two angels. And I say my opinion, but I know that they're angels. And I'll go into further why I know that. But I want to show you another video of one of these two angels, but it's in a different position. Let me see if I can locate that real quick. I don't want this video to be too long, but I did want you guys to see that these are angels. Matter of fact, let me show you a little bit of this one real quick. This is one of the ones where it's kind of floating around the garage. And this is me in the video. And I don't think you can tell it here, but I do have my fringes sewn on to the boils of my shirt there, and trying to grow my little beard all I can grow. But we're just coming home from somewhere, and you can see this is like October of 2019, and that's my ex-wife and my daughter. And she's thinking, oh, it's some kind of spider web, because initially we tried to think of everything we could possibly think of as to what it could be. And so you see me kind of put my hand all through it to kind of show her it's not a spider web. If it was a spider web, it would get caught all on my arm and what have you. So it's definitely not a spider web. And so you can see here for yourself how it's floating across the room. Now it's kind of like back over in this corner. And then I got plenty of stories to go along with these. But you can see here how it's moving. And it's not over here like we saw in the last video, the two of them. This one is over this area, and it just kind of moves to and fro. And initially, for the longest, we said, well, what are we actually witnessing? We questioned, is it an angel or what exactly is it that we're looking at? And so then there's some things that occurred later on that confirmed that that in my opinion they're angels. And there's a video I've been trying to locate for the longest that occurred during the Feast of Tabernacles of 2019. Most of the times, 99.9% of the times when we record these, they would always be in the garage. And there was only one incident where I had an opportunity to record them where they weren't in the garage. That was actually inside the house. And it was the first time we had ever seen it inside the house. And it was actually like the second or third day of the Feast of Tabernacles in 2019. We had set the tent up in the backyard. And the next morning, early, my ex-wife was getting up to go inside to make breakfast before she went to work. So it was like early, like 3:30 in the morning. And so because we had been outside in the tent all night, I decided to check the security camera to make sure everything was okay inside, since I knew she was going in. And of course, we had been out in the backyard all night. And that's when I saw it. When I clicked on the security camera that morning, 3:30 that morning, just to check the house, make sure everything was okay as she went in to cook. I saw it inside the house, and I just lost my mind. But anyway, let me see here. Is there any one more I might want to show you? I want to show you some of the orbs, if I can, real quick, before I end this video. Because you see the different strands of light. You saw the one where it was floating up off the vehicle. And kind of would like for you to see. Let me see if I can just find some orbs. Let me just click on one and see if we can see a couple of orbs real quick. So you can kind of see what they look like when the orbs are flying around the house. Okay, they move kind of fast. It's better when they go slow because you can see them a little better. But you can see them kind of going across the screen pretty quick. Let's see if we can catch a decent view of one. But yes, Israelites, please know that if you're keeping the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments, and you have faith in Yahushua, the Most High is aware of you, and He's aware of the commitment that you've made, and that you're keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments. That's how important it is. And if you're doing all those things from the heart, then I can almost guarantee you that you got angels around you, and you may not even know it. And let me see if I can find a better one. I'm gonna show you one of the ones that was extraordinary with the orbs. I had a situation in 2021 where I got really sick with COVID. It was like toward the end of March of 2021. I actually lost about 46 pounds in 3 weeks. That's how tripped out it was. Let me see if I can. But I would like to show you. Is it going to open? There we go. Let me show it to you real quick. I think this is the one. So let me just click it.
Good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are.
This is me talking.
Thank you for.
I'll turn the volume off. I just want you to see the orbs real quick. Let me try to enlarge it. Oh, there they go. Let's try to enlarge it. You see them? For some reason, this particular time, this is like March 24th. This is really close to the time I got really sick, and there were just so many of them. This is one of the times where we had the most that we've ever had at one time. And this night, they were just so plentiful. You can see them coming from all directions. And I like when they go slower. There's some good videos of when they're moving really slow. And you can see them, the light flickering off and on, where they're like pulsating. And so, but this particular video, I think I got posted on my, talking about the angelic ancestors are all around us. As Israelites, you got angels around you. If you are a practicing Israelite, the Most High is pleased with you, and he's pulling for you, and I'm sure he's trying to help you fight your way to stay true to the law, statutes, and commandments, and to His Son, Yahushua. But they're moving too fast on this video. This is not the greatest video just because they're moving so fast, and you really need to be able to have a good look at them so you can see clearly for yourself. There's just no doubt about it. The orbs, ORBS, orbs of light, that are just kind of flying to and fro. And I'm gonna try one more time to get a better video that's where they're a little bit clearer. Let's see if I can find one where they're a little bit clearer. I tell you what, let me show you. Let me see if I can find one more where they are. Let's just click on this one. And maybe hopefully we can see a couple of decent, nice orbs on this one. And then give it maybe 2 minutes. Let's see what we can locate. And I may even move it along a little bit. Like I said, I don't like when they go so fast because you can't really get to appreciate them. But I'm not seeing a whole lot of. It should be, but that's too fast to appreciate. They can do better than that. What's up? Let's try one more time, real quick. Let's try one more time. There's so many videos, I tell you. So let's see about this one real quick. I don't even know what's on this one, but we'll see. Oh, there you go. There's one or two going. I can see one or two going. There's my daughter sitting there. And of course, there's plenty of times we're sitting around in there and they're flying all around. You can just open up the app on the phone and just watch them. And that's what I would do a lot of times, would just watch them and observe them moving about. Yep. And I was always fascinated by them, but my ex, I don't think she could care less one way or the other. But yeah, you can see they're there, and you see them moving to and from. And there's a pretty good sized wall right here with a 65-inch television on it. And you'll see them pass right through that wall like it's not even there. Okay. So, uh, but at any rate, I just wanted to share some of these. I have over 1,000 videos. I would say close to 1,000, and so and I have some really special ones that I need to locate, and I'm not sure if I'm going to share those or not because they're next level, and I don't think a lot of people could be able to handle it. I really don't know if people could be able to handle it. They move too fast. Slow down. Let them see you up close and personal. Well, that was a nice one, but it didn't get the best shot of it. Let's open it up all the way. Too fast. Too fast. You can see them, but they're just too quick. You want to have a chance to really just watch them move across the room. And there's plenty of videos like that where they're slow and you can really appreciate them. But when they go fast like that, it's like a shooting star. So you really don't get to see it very well before it's gone. All right, I'm gonna stop here. There's plenty of videos to share, but I'll just stop right there. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I definitely would like to invite you to subscribe and click the like button and subscribe. And we'll try to post at least one or two videos a week. So just come back and see for yourself. Don't hesitate to share them with your friends and family, and definitely share them with other Israelites. Definitely. So anyway, I'm gonna call it a night. It's about 10:49 p.m. here. I'm gonna say shalom and have a blessed evening.